Today we're out at my friend Scott's house and we're checking on his bees. They're quickly outgrowing their space, so we're going to add a second box onto the hive to give them more space. So we've got these new frames. They've got plastic foundation in them, and the bees tend to realize that plastic is not a natural substance, so they're a lot more reluctant to get on and start building. You can buy these pre-waxed, but from what I've found, they don't tend to do a really good job of pre-waxing them. It's really not worth it in my opinion. So I just take some wax and melt it down and just roll it on myself. All you need is a little paint roller and a heat source to melt your wax, and you're good to go. So we're going to get these all waxed up and both sides, and then we're going to go and kind of mix them into the hive and give the bees something to do to keep them busy, because they're getting so full they're starting to want to swarm early in the year. So let's have a look at them. Now what you're seeing here on the left is pollen patties. It's a pollen substitute we feed the bees. And on the right is what is left of some granule sugar. It's kind of an emergency feed just to make sure they've got what they need. Here you can see there's about 8 frames that the bees are actively working, so they're pretty full. They've about filled up all their space. You can see here they've got drawn comb all the way through, and along the top there you see honey, and right there is a queen cell. So I saw that queen cell and it started making me worry, maybe we've lost the queen. So I started looking for the queen, and there's a lot of brood going on here. Here you can see those taller ones. That's drone brood. So they're starting to make male bees, basically, that can make queens if they swarm. There's a tight brood pattern there. So it's looking really good, and I'm seeing some eggs, so I know the queen's got to be in here. So the only reason they'd be making queen cells is because they're filling up too much, and they're starting to think about swarming. This early in the year, it would be hard to swarm because there's not a lot of drone brood being hatched just yet. Still just a little bit early, but they're trying anyway. There's another queen cell being worked. So keep looking here, see if we can spot the queen. There she is. You can see the white dot on her back. The white dot is a paint mark. Take a little paint pen and just dab it on her back, and that makes it to where you can easily spot her when you're looking through the hive. It's important to locate your queen in some circumstances. But there she is. She's doing well, so that tells me that they're just trying to make a queen to swarm with. So what we need to do is remove these queen cells so that they don't swarm. And to keep them from swarming, we're going to add more space in the hive, which gives them more to do, keeps them more occupied. And that's the way bees work. If they run out of space, then they swarm, and half of the hive will split with the old queen. They'll go together, the old queen and half of the hive, and they'll leave, and they'll go out and hang in a tree somewhere, or off of something, and they'll try to find a place to make a new hive. Here you see a bunch of pollen. That's what all this stuff right here is pollen. And then down here in the corner is another queen cell. So they're trying to build a queen on this frame also. Here I'm tearing it open just to check, see if there's an egg in there. I tear this one open. You see that white substance? That means there's an egg in there. That is what you call royal jelly. And the bees will take any random egg and stick it in there, and then they'll start feeding the larva that hatches this white jelly, and that royal jelly will actually turn that egg into a queen bee. Here we're adding a piece of wood underneath the hive. It just kind of tilts the hive forward. That's a little extra insurance just to make sure, in a real heavy rain, that water don't roll up into the hive. By tilting it forward, the water can run out the front. So now that we've got all the queen cells out and there's nothing to worry about, it's time to treat for mites. So we're putting formic acid strips in the hive, and the bees can withstand this acid treatment, but the mites cannot. And if you leave the mites in there, they can wipe the hive completely out. So now we're going to top it off with some sugar water, and the bees can use this early in the year when there's not a lot of nectar, and kind of use it to sustain themselves and start to build up. They can also use it to start drawing wax on these new frames. So we've added this second box and a bunch of new frames, and that's about it. You can see there they don't like that acid. They'll come out for a little while, but eventually they'll go back in. Other than that, they're looking real good, and that's the end.